to commemorate the being part of the National Health Service. In Glasgow, the impossible dream. So I for an NHS free at the point of depending on your medical needs and not your an NHS free at the point of depending on your medical needs and not your ability to pay. And it's exactly what we've been trying to do to help the rest of the world, as Dr. Tedros acknowledged over these last few years, so that other countries can enjoy the benefit of a health service free at the point of need, where you don't have to pay for your treatment, but you get the chance of getting health care depending on your medical condition and the treatments that you need as a result of that. And you know, the person that helped me most when we were trying to do this, when we were in government and since, was Nelson Mandela, the late Nelson Mandela. And Nelson Mandela, I went to Mozambique and I spoke with Nelson Mandela and his great wife, Gracia Michelle, who is still alive and still campaigning on these issues. And Mandela said on that day, and I will never forget this, he said, in my life, he said, I have climbed one mountain. The mountain I climbed was to end apartheid and create a multiracial society in South Africa. And then he said, but there is a second mountain to climb. And the second mountain I want to climb is that every single child and young person has access to health and to education free of charge. And that he made the mission for the rest of his life. And you know, he came to London on his 90th birthday. And we held a celebration forum in London. And some of you may remember there was a famous pop concert around the time. But before that, there was a dinner to raise money for his proposal for children's hospitals in South Africa and beyond. And all the Hollywood pop stars and celebrities arrived for this because Mandela was so famous. Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton were there, Forbes Whitaker, Will Smith before he got into trouble a few weeks ago. They were all there. And they auctioned this thing called Letter to a Child that Mandela had written in his prison cell, but they wanted to raise money for the hospital, and so they said, you know, pay as much as you can in this auction. And indeed it was Will Smith who was conducting the auction, and he didn't do it very well, so someone else had to take over. And it came down to bids of 400,000, 500,000, huge bids. People like Hollywood stars who had money, Emma Thompson remembers there as well, 600,000, 70, and eventually there was only two people left. Oprah Winfrey versus Elton John. And they were sitting at the same table as I was, and Mandela and so on, and they were bidding against each other. So it goes 800,000 Oprah, 850,000 Elton, 900,000 Oprah, 950,000 Oprah, Oprah a million, and Elton pulls out. And then we tell Oprah Winfrey, you're having to pay in pounds and not dollars. And that cost her 50% more. And then we went to this concert, again to raise money for his hospitals and his program to develop healthcare in Africa. And all the pop singers were present there. And you may remember the late Amy Winehouse, who was a great singer. She was presenting on behalf of the people raising money for the concert. And at half-time, we all went down. I was actually sitting next to Nelson Mandela. It was one of these great occasions where his wife, Gracia, was so careful about him, she banned him from alcohol. And it was his 90th birthday. And there was the great leader hiding a bottle of champagne underneath his seat, hiding it actually from his wife, and really sort of helping him cover up his little drinking. So he went down and he then is talking to Amy Winehouse. And Amy Winehouse says to Nelson Mandela, says, Mr. Mandela, she said, you and my husband have a great deal in common. And Mandela said, what could that be? What could that be? Yes, she said, both of you have spent a long time in prison. But you know, 27 years in prison, and it never made Mandela bitter. It just made him more determined to do the right things. And when I talk about hope, just think, in his prison cell, he had this very few possessions. He was allowed only one or two things, but he